Hi there, welcome back to the Northwest Showcase on 93.9 KPDQ, sponsored today by Dr. Day and Day Chiropractic. Dr. David Day, sitting right across from me right there, of course, his practice, Day Chiropractic. Over there, just south of Powell Boulevard on Southeast 122nd, you want to write the number down, it's 3758 Southeast 122nd. Or, yeah, 122nd. And the phone number is 503-760-7572 if you're interested in making an appointment. Or maybe you want to go and look at all the cool stuff he has on the website.
A
lot of good information on there. Daychiropractic.com. And by the way, I wanted to say that note that the lady whose father was having a trouble with his leg and now is having feeling in his hands. Once again, in his 80s this is happening. One of the things that she mentioned, he kind of glossed over that I think is important to mention. She was talking about how whenever anybody comes to see you, there's laughter, there's joy. It just comes right out of you, and it's infectious, and we all get it. And I've known you for several years now. We've been working together for 4 or 5 years, and just not doing this program. But now I'm doing the program also. I'm glad to do that. But that's just who you are. It just comes. You just exude that.
Yeah, it really. And when you come into the office, understand you're coming into a place that's unlike any other doctor's office, and it is on purpose. I do not like the idea that most medical offices are like you go into a maze and you sit like a mouse trying to find the cheese, right? Go down a hall, up, down, up, right? That's not healing. Healing comes when you open the door and you can see me. We're glad to see you.
Yes.
Right? And you might have been sitting in traffic for a long time and frustrated.
Sure.
But you know what? All that, leave that in your car. Come on in and be part of this healing environment, right? Because this is the place for you. And Nancy, we all know your name, right? We look forward to you. If you're doing something, if you square dance, we have one couple, they just went down square dance. When I gave her the adjustment right before they left to go down to their statewide square dancing, is to make sure that she has a great time square dancing, right? And so if I know what it is that you're going, another couple of mine, they're heading to the Philippines because they're going scuba diving. Okay, great. I want to make sure that they can swim and that scuba tank is good and all that. Because I'm thinking about, when I give you your adjustment, I want to adjust you so that you can have the best experience living your life. Then I'm kind of living vicariously then through my patients, right? And you can give me updates. How did it go? You know, did you have a great time? You know, these sorts of things. And that's really why I want to adjust you to optimize and make your life more vivid.
I mean, think about all the different parts that are in a car, for instance,
yes.
Right? All the different things, and if something is, maybe the suspension isn't right. That thing's not going to corner no matter what the engine's doing.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, so you're tuning the body for what the people are doing.
And often, and some of what I do, like you need to change the oil, whether their oil light is on or not.
Right,
you know what I mean? So,
sure.
so this, I wish people would stop thinking about chiropractic only in the terms of when I hurt, then I go. I would like them to say, let's kind of using the analogy of the car. There's preventative maintenance, and there's some things that you have to do. If you go over a curb, you better get your alignment checked. You know, so I mean, if you're out shoveling this snow and you fall, get your butt in. Don't wait till your next appointment. Get realigned. Right? Because it's kind of but it's living life. Like I took care of a young boy yesterday. Normally I check him about once a month. Well, Mom brought him in because he had been standing on a chair, and he and his sister, they were twirling this chair, and he landed and he hit the windowsill. So he cut his thing. Well, and she had the foresight to think not only about needing to get the stitches in his eye, she also made an appointment to say, can you check my boy and make sure that he's in alignment after that fall.
And you know what, that may not have been something that manifested itself right away, but could have been 10 years from now. Maybe this gentleman that is in his 80s was standing on a chair when he was 10 years old. I mean, it could have happened. Who knows?
Exactly. Yeah. So one of the nice things about as I look at chiropractic, if you're under some sort of regular adjustment, then I get to know your body, and we know when it's you're doing great, or something's different today, and we can address it and deal with it. So, but you did ask during our break. It was interesting. You asked, well, why Oklahaven? And one of the things I've done, there have been 2 clinics that have a similar mission. One is called Kentuckiana, and that's in Kentucky, and then Oklahaven, which is in Oklahoma City. And the last several years I've done Oklahoma. Partly, my brother lives in Oklahoma now, but I love Bobby Dorsher has she's done this now for many years, and it's like the clinic was started in 1962. So this has been going on for years and years and years. She came on board in 1979 and has been doing it ever since. So I guess I'm a sucker for, I like it when I see someone who is committed to a cause and they invest themselves and it's a long period of time. There's something, like Karen and I, we've been married, it'll be 35 years this year.
Hey, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. And you realize, there's a lot of water went under that bridge. You know what I mean? And so when you see someone who has been in a role for many, many years and is still doing dynamic and wonderful things, you go, there's some authenticity there. I want to be part of that. Yeah. And so I think that's part of it. It speaks to me. And I like the types of conditions they're attracting, because here's another, and this was, I've got a bunch of these in these magazines. If you want them, that you can subscribe to them or make a donation, and it's one of those. It's kind of fun to read these stories. But we already talked about little Sydney, who had the acid reflux and the eczema and all that sort of stuff.
Yes.
They also say that another girl, at 2 years of age, a speech therapist evaluated Taylor and found a case of suspected apraxia. The course of treatment required 2 to 3 times a week of speech therapy and an outlook of several years to correct. Our private insurance would not pay for therapy. We had to rely on the state's early education services. It was very apparent that the speech therapy was not helping Taylor. Her speech therapist kept bringing up the need to have her evaluated for autism. Well, we reluctantly did. She was diagnosed with an auditory sensory disorder on top of her suspected speech apraxia, but no autism. There is a disconnect between the brain and the muscles used to form sounds. So apraxia is a motor speech disorder. Children with childhood apraxia of speech, or CAS, have problems saying sounds, syllables, and words. Taylor's apraxia diagnosis was confirmed at age 3. So, she started, at 2 having problems, and so by the time little Taylor was 3 years old, it was confirmed. It can take years of treatment for most apraxia patients to begin to talk. The only treatment was to continue speech therapy and wait it out, right? So really no treatment per se, just going to a therapist and try to
best of luck, kid.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Her peers were singing and declaring why with ever clearer pronunciation. I was watching my daughter struggle to communicate her basic needs. Broke my heart and made me bitter. I could see the words in her eyes, on the tip of her tongue, and in the shape of her lips. I anxiously waited to hear her voice, but the sounds wouldn't form. The coordination was not there. We decided to try alternative treatments. Conventional medicine and therapy was failing us miserably, so we turned to chiropractic as a last resort. We started at Oklahaven for chiropractic care and saw immediate results. We heard new sounds the next day.
Wow.
The third visit, I watched as the shape of her mouth and overbite changed during the office visit. Dr. Bobby stated she got it and predicted a big improvement to come. We indeed heard full words, not just sounds.
What?
The following week, the chiropractic adjustments have consistently given us new sounds after every weekly visit. Here we are 7 months later, and both girls are thriving. We've been doing chiropractic weekly and have been astonished at the progress Taylor is making. Within 24 hours of each adjustment, new sounds are made each and every week, with the exception of 2. So this is interesting for people to understand. It doesn't always go flawlessly, right? So this talks about a couple of cases. We had 2 setbacks in the last 7 months. We had 1 adjustment that's put us in a speech regression. It confirmed to me that the body can turn itself on and off. I thought the adjustments didn't take, and she was quieter or seemed to regress the following week. But I learned that the body responds differently to each adjustment. On one occasion, her accent changed, and all of her sounds were off the entire week. I panicked each time it happened, fearing the worst. We reluctantly go back to press forward the next week. Each time, within 24 hours, her full speech would be restored, and we'd have new sounds the next day. Once we ended her adjustment early because she was having a bad day and was unwilling to cooperate. So anyone who has children can read through that one. Well, that was a bad idea. That night she complained of headache, and the following week she was very quiet. There were no new words and minimal communication. She wouldn't look me in the eyes and seemed off. I was nervous and worried that she was permanently broken. Well, the following week I let Dr. Bobby know. So if you've got concerns like this, you make sure you let us know, and we can deal with it. But she adjusted her and had us back to normal, improving the following day. We've only had progress since. The body is amazing when it's finely tuned. Her speech therapists are blown away by the noted improvement after each adjustment. Taylor is now able to say all of her sounds, expanding her vocabulary daily and beginning to string 2- and 3-word phrases together. The progress we were seeing wasn't a chance of her growing out of it. We've been going weekly for 7 months and now have full words, partial sentences, and humming sounds. I am certain these sounds would not be in place without the chiropractic care. Her auditory processing is still a little slower than that of her peers, but quickly catching up. I anticipate it will resolve itself over the next year with continued adjustment.
Wow.
So back to the whole body idea, right? If something is choking off the nerve system, it won't be able to work right. Whether it is how you hear, how you talk, how you digest food, how you pee, how you poop, all these things are monitored, regulated, and directed by the nerve system. You can have problems with sensory nerves going up. Maybe you can't tell that your bladder is full and so you pee. Maybe the muscles that hold the sphincters tight are too weak and they can't, the pee falls out, right? Well, maybe your brain center and the brainstem isn't quite, there's something causing interference up in that region that makes the decision about whether it's time to hold it or time to pee. So there's lots of places that the nerve system has, that where all this processing of information and pathways and things like that, there's a lot of interrelationships. So the question is, where is the cause? And then we use all these techniques to measure all these things to figure that out.
Is it a good idea for somebody to keep like a note of their, or some sort of a list of their different symptoms?
Yeah, they certainly can, but remember, I'm not going to use the symptoms to tell me where to go. It's, you really need to be tested. I need to measure, right? Sure. It's the stuff that, because that kind of gets us back into the things that you're aware of.
Oh, I guess.
See, I had to find out where the physiology, where's the choke point, and that's why using some of the testing that we do is really helpful. Then I could remeasure it, and we can watch the progress also. So that's really exciting to see where we start from, and then how, as we move through, we can actually measure how things are actually improving. Not, I mean, you can tell me if you're feeling better. Sure. But the question is, did I actually fix it, or is it still, you know what I mean? It's, when am I done? That sort of thing.
Also tells you what direction to go with your corrective steps.
Yep.
It's a whole person approach. They call it at the Day Chiropractic. Corrective exercises, understand lifestyle advice, nutritional counseling, all this is all part of it. Maybe you're interested and you want to find out, maybe set up an appointment over at Day Chiropractic. It's 503-760-7572. It's in Southeast on 122nd, just south of Powell Boulevard. You can find it very easily. Or go online, daychiropractic.com. A lot of great information there. A lot of great information here. We're going to continue Day Chiropractic and Dr. David Day on Northwest Showcase, 93.9 KPDQ.